Hey folks, Joe here. So we're back out at this little forested area inside of the city, and I was here 2 days ago doing a little bit of a video. I posted that about an hour and a half ago, and in that video I was saying how I was going to clean up a bit of garbage that was left behind over there from somebody who used to set up a little camp here several years ago. And I went digging around in the panniers, and the plastic bags I had grabbed from the house to bring out, I left them on the workbench in the garage. So came back today, 2 days later, got a couple of bags here, and a pair of gloves just for safety, or whatever I'm picking up. So I'm going to bag up some trash. I might have a short little campfire. There's an old campfire ring over there. I might get a little fire going, burn up any of the cardboardy, papery kind of things. I brought an extra bottle of water to make sure that's completely out. It'll just be a tiny fire, let it burn for a little while I'm playing around here, and then make sure it's out before I do the ride back home. And so yeah, that's what we're doing here today. So I'm going to move things around, take a break on the camera, and get started. Metal something or other. Metal can. Second metal can. Get this crap out of here. An old hammer. I'm going to hang that up here. Just off this tree. This might come in useful someday for something. What else we got? Mr. Noodles wrapper. Could burn that, but I'm probably not going to bother having a fire. Bits and pieces of paper. Where I'm standing right now is the remnants of the old fire pit somebody had here. Top of a plastic water bottle. Hot dog wrap. So yeah, here's the remains of somebody's old fire pit. I think I can do better than that. Scrap of useless yellow rope. That's going in the trash. Kind of waffle maker. That's kind of junky. Let's see if I can bend that up so that'll collapse in a little bit better. Let's definitely go to range here, I think, for a second. I'll be back. Bend this sucker down so it'll fit in the bag a little bit better. Plastic packaging. Mr. Noodles wrapper. Somebody likes Mr. Noodles. Couple of old metal spoons. Those can be reused. I'm not going to clean those up to use those. Metal baking dish fucking came in. Give her the once over. Make sure I got everything. Ew. Looks like a used sock. Very disgusting. Bits of paper. Anybody over here? So if you can still see me. There's an old plastic bottle. Thing's just like almost crumbling to the touch. It's been here, I would say, a bunch of years for it to degrade that much. Remember I said a gross looking old sock? Yeah, just found the other one. Yeah, lovely. I'm glad I brought these gloves, by the way. I don't want to pick up that kind of crap with my bare hands. And I think I've got everything. Brought 2 plastic grocery bags. Thinking that would probably be enough. Looks like one is going to be enough. Little foil package of some sort, another piece of plastic. Well, that's all I see. I'm going to tie this thing up. come towards the camera and pick something up by the tripod, so hey everybody. Grab this second plastic bag. We're going to double bag this. In here, I'm going to dump these gloves now. They have served their purpose. This will get stuffed inside one of the panniers on the bike, which is back over there. All that home. Garbage day is tomorrow, so that's going out tomorrow with trash. Okay folks, change of heart. We are going to have a very short little fire here. Rearranged these old bricks for the fire pit, cleaned it up a bit. Notice there's a few little specks of trash still, mainly in and around the fire pit. Some of it under some partially burned wood. So I want to leave this place better than it was, and it already is. But if I clean this up a little bit better, burn up the remains, it's going to be even better. In a couple previous videos, I pointed out to an old plastic chair that used to be just over this way. It's a broken leg, three-legged chair. That's no longer in the area. I held that elsewhere. It's gone. Now we're just going to get this fire going. Got a little bit of fire starter with me. That shows up on the camera, but these are very fine wood shavings, Western red cedar, from the paddle set I built. I use those big brown yard waste bags. I pile up the wood shavings in those, and every now and then burn them up in the fire pit in the backyard. Ziplocs where I stuff a handful inside. Sometimes bring those with me on trips as a fire starter. Should have had those in my recent canoe trip. Some wood shavings, well, some of those little wet fire tinder bundles. Because I knew it was going to be a really wet trip, which it was. Totally forgot it, but got the fire going every day. Just going to add a couple little sticks to this. Just want to burn up this stuff that was partially burned. There's a few little scraps kicking around here and there we're going to chuck in. Just looking to clean the area up. Partially burned stick. Another one. Everybody in. Once again, the old fire pit remains and the newly cleaned up and rearranged fire pit for today. I'm sitting in my Eureka chair, which I just love. I'm doing this kind of stuff. I always bring a pair of work gloves to protect my hands when I'm doing stuff. In case of what I was doing today with the old trash that was around here. Brought the latex protective gloves as well. Threw those open when I was done bagging up trash. This bottle of water, minus the little sip I'm going to have right now, rather than walk over the 100 feet or so to where the bike is parked, just the water bottles. Have a little sip. The rest of this, once this little tiny fire dies down, we're going to completely douse it and then hang out for another 15-20 minutes just to make sure that it's going to be completely out before I go out of here. The woods are pretty dry. And the other piece of supplies, the other item I brought in my supplies is 1 can of beer. I may or may not have this right now. It's not even 5 o'clock yet, so I don't know. Might save this, have it at home tonight, watch a hockey game. Although I do have other ones at home, so I probably will have this out here. The place looks a lot better than it did. And whether or not I end up camping out here remains to be seen. Probably will do an overnighter, not this week. Day after tomorrow, I'm probably riding out on the bike. I got a place in mind to set up camp. It's roughly 40 kilometers from town, not too far, short ride. I've actually got 2 different places, roughly 35 to 40 kilometers from town that I want to check out, both in completely different areas. So one trip this week, might do an overnighter here next week. A few days of rain, but a couple days in between is kind of nice. Might come out around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, spend the night, head back first thing in the morning, have breakfast after I get home. And then as soon as I get a nice forecast for 3 or 4 days, probably go check out this other camping place by bike that I have in mind. And still hoping to do another paddling trip this year too. But we'll see. Putter around a little bit more before I crack that can of beer. Hey folks, so I cleaned up a little bit more of the scrap wood around here, just tidying up the area a little bit, burning up a couple other little scraps of trash that I found. The plastic bag full of stuff that I filled up that you saw earlier, that's now in one of the panniers on the bike. That is double bagged. And just cleaning up a bit of the brush in and around the general area, opening it up a little bit more. And if I do decide to pop a tent up here one night, it's probably going to be just over there, about 100 feet or so. I got a spot picked out. Thinking about where to put up the tarp. It's not going to be anything elaborate. It's not like I'm going to come out here in the morning and spend 2 or 3 days. This would be more like, I want to go camping, but I don't really have time, so hike or bike over here. It's pretty close. Over just a couple hours of daylight left, 2 to 3 hours of daylight left in the day. Set up a quick camp and break camp first thing in the morning and head back for home. I doubt if I'd even bring a camp stove with me. Probably bring a couple sandwiches or some leftover pizza, 2 or 3 beer, something like that. Maybe a small stove to make a cup of coffee to drink on the way back if I'm hiking. I don't know. Play it by ear, but right now I'm going to have a beer, let this fire die out, and then pack it in. This video will probably get posted tomorrow, I suspect. Could be the 19th. Yeah, 18th today. 18th? But today's the 19th. Get my days mixed up. Today is Tuesday the 19th. Probably get this posted up tomorrow, Wednesday. And at 10 o'clock in the morning there's another video dropping from the canoe trip. This one's just short. The first 3 have been around 20-25 minute mark. This next one is 3 minutes. Didn't do a lot that day. The one I'm looking forward to doing is the final day of the trip, day 6, and the portage that I hadn't planned on doing, but ended up doing and really actually enjoyed it. It ended up being one of the highlights of the entire trip, if you can believe that. But anyways, we'll talk about that in the next video.